What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Carlton Flowers here with Family Sports Network. Yay! FSN is in the house, and we got a great video today. We're going to have to talk about a lot of things centered around the Chiefs star receiver, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Yes, MVS, not to be called Marquez, because if you call him Marquez, he's not going to talk to you. He's kind of a diva when it comes to pronouncing his name right. But in this video today, we're going to discuss the history of MVS in Kansas City, and I have a question that I would like to pose to you, Chiefs Kingdom. Is MVS squatting on a very important, much needed Chiefs wide receiver position? Is he squatting on a position that should be opened up to someone else? We're going to answer that question after we take a look back and talk about the history of MVS in Kansas City. And then we will look at the stats for the season. And then we're going to check out a video from Deruse's channel. How about those Chiefs? If you have never seen him, you need to check him out. I'll put the link in the description. He has one of the best Chiefs channels out there. But we're going to show a clip and a reaction from Cole about a certain attitude issue that we're starting to pick up on with MVS. And then we'll close it out by answering that hypothetical question. Okay, so the history of MVS, looking back when he first came here, of course, it was due to the fact that we lost the cheetah. We lost the Super Bowl, we lost the cheetah, we needed a new receiver, we needed someone who could replace that deep threat capability, someone who has speed and could just fill that big gap. We knew that we would never completely replace the cheetah, but we had to do the best that we could with finding another deep threat, and that was MVS. Upon first discovering the news, I was excited because I like the underdog. I like the dark horse. I like the undiscovered player that comes out of nowhere and makes it really big. So when they had announced this, some people were a little bit underwhelmed with the pick. I was super excited because I thought he would come in here and Patrick Mahomes would just take his career to the moon. I thought he's going to elevate this man's career and they're going to have an amazing experience, quarterback to receiver experience. And my thought was, well, he has the speed. He could obviously, like Randy Moss people at high point balls, throw it up there and let them jump ball. He's also got the speed to beat people downfield to provide that deep threat. So I'm thinking this is only good. And I remember at the time they were talking about how he had not had any dropped balls for Green Bay in his last season. And now I'm finding out that that assessment was not correct. I can't remember who it was that was talking about that. One of the big name commentators in the NFL was talking about this. And of course, now we do know that the drop balls was a problem and continues to be a problem with MVS. So he came here, first year, wasn't too bad. We go to the Super Bowl, we win. He catches a Super Bowl reception, gets a touchdown rather in the Super Bowl. But it was kind of a mediocre, a lukewarm season for MVS. And I thought he needs another year to gel with Patrick Mahomes, and that the second year is going to be the breakout year. Once they figure each other out, once they have a rhythm, once they can communicate, kind of like that telepathic communication that Patrick Mahomes has with Travis Kelce. So I was excited about the 2023 season because this was going to be the breakout season for MVS, where he would prove everyone wrong that he was the right choice and he would get the results. Fast forward to today, and that did not happen. As a matter of fact, it was quite the reverse, as production actually went down, which is disappointing because MVS is being paid about $10 million per year, And the interesting thing is he's making more money than all of the rest of the Chiefs receivers combined. All right. So he's guaranteed $8 million. He's a pretty big cap hit on the team, fourth highest paid player on the team, and completely disappointing, underwhelming performance for 2023. Now, let's just jump over here to ESPN.com and look at some stats here, and then we'll move right along and check out the video clip from Cole Deruse, and then we'll end it up and answer that question. So here we are, first game of the season, Thursday Night Football against the Detroit Lions, where he was only targeted twice. I mean, he caught both balls, but the long pass was 34 yards. I remember that play. It was kind of exciting. And then, of course, we had a 14-yard pass. So 2 catches, not great, but not disappointing. That's not bad. So then from this point on, look at the targets and the receptions. Receptions, 2 on the second game, targeted 3 times. And then for the next 1, 2, 3 games, only 2 targets in each game with 1 reception each. And then against the Broncos, we have a complete dud. We've got the egg right there, targeted once and 0 receptions. And then, of course, in the Chargers game, they did target him 5 times. He got 3 receptions, but just a paltry 46 yards. Against Denver, targeted 4 times, only 2 catches, total 14 yards. That's not deep threat total yardage. Definitely not deep threat. And we weren't fulfilling this deep threat need that the Chiefs were depending on him for. So moving on, 3 targets, 2 receptions, 3 targets against Philadelphia with 0. There's the eggshell again. 1 target, 1 reception in the Raiders game. 5 targets and only 2 receptions for 16 against his former team, which was a complete disappointment. 4 targets, 2 receptions in Buffalo, which was the disaster game when he drops the touchdown pass that would have won them the game. So how many times do we have to see this happen? Of course, he's got the most drops. And then 1 target, 1 reception in New England. Very underwhelming. But this year it's been nothing but dropped balls and missed opportunities. And we're not seeing him really fulfill that deep threat capability that we thought that he had. Okay? So we have not replaced the Cheetah. In fact, Justin Watson has been the most dependable deep threat player on the Chiefs team in 2023, not MVS. And so we're looking at the snap counts going down. All right. He was averaging 40 to 50 plus snaps per game. In the last 2 games, Andy Reid has chopped that down considerably. It's down to 22 snaps per game. And as I said on that last video, as I said, I think that some of these other receivers need to get a shot and get more playing time, more snaps to see if they can fulfill this need that we have that MVS is not fulfilling. So I'm wondering right now, MVS is 29 years old. Has he lost a step? Could that be what it is? And then considering what we're about to see in this video, maybe he has lost his step. Maybe he is over that pinnacle point in his athletic livelihood, his athletic life, and he's not physically capable of getting it done. Now, let's jump back and check out this video, and then we'll ask that question again and in this show, and then I'm going to ask you for your opinion. I want to know what you think about MVS, if he should come back, if he has kind of turned that corner where he's on the downhill slope of his career. And then after we watch this video, I want to know your reaction to the next question, which is centered around his attitude. Let's play the video.
$50,000 per catch. And you know what? I'm not sure I would have even made a video on this subject if MVS was a man who simply took accountability of the fact that he's really struggling this year. But no, he actually would rather pretend like nothing is wrong.
With everything going on with you this season, just how have you been focusing mentally on getting better every week? What do you mean everything going on? Drops here and there, and then, things happen late in games. I don't really know what you're referring to. It's not really anything that's going on that doesn't happen in any other season, that doesn't happen to any other player in this league.
And after this video went insane on social media for obvious reasons, MVS actually then responded to PJ Green, the reporter who posted this video, saying he was disappointed in PJ for his lack of understanding and research he put into the questions that were asked, and so his demeanor was directed toward PJ? Well, I went ahead and did the research, just gave it to all of you watching so you have the understanding, which sadly does not make me feel any better.
It doesn't make me feel any better either. And go back and watch the video because he did provide good statistics for his thesis point. Okay, so now we can get to that last question and the reason why I'm asking it. So is MVS now officially squatting on a much needed, very important Chiefs wide receiver slot? And the reason why I say that is because of his attitude. You saw it in that video. That's not good. I really feel for this guy, have felt for this guy up until this point, until I saw that video and until I read the tweet that he made where he blamed the reporter. I hate to say it, but I don't think you can fix this problem when his attitude stinks and he can't take personal responsibility. So considering what he just said in that video, in the interview, I do believe that he is squatting on a much needed Chiefs receiver slot position. If that's what his attitude is going to be, I'm sorry, guy. I'm sorry, fella. You're going to have to get out of the way. If you had an attitude of personal responsibility and you could admit that you've had challenges, admit that you've had a disappointing season, admit that there's something that you're struggling with, maybe we would want to stick it out with you and feel for you, but definitely not when you have that attitude where you're going to deflect and blame it on a reporter and pretend that there have been no issues all season with you and those brick hands and that god-awful ball that you dropped at the end of the Buffalo game. Not going to work. It's not fair to take up a roster spot when you have a bad attitude and you can't take personal responsibility. And for that reason, I say he's got to go. I mean, they don't need to cut him because we have to have him there throughout the remainder of the season, but he definitely has earned less snaps. He definitely has earned a warmer bench spot. Let some of these other receivers who have a better attitude step up and see if they can prove themselves since you have a bad attitude. And then after the season is over, I'm sorry, guy, you got to go. We got to let somebody else who really wants it, someone who's eager, someone who is salty, someone who can take personal responsibility, who will jump in and try to fulfill the role of the deep threat receiver on the other ends of the big gun of Patrick Mahomes. Don't desecrate the gun of Patrick Mahomes. We can't waste that gun. Every game wasted this year is a travesty. We've got what could potentially be the best quarterback in the history of the NFL. We can't waste it on a receiver with a bad attitude who can't even admit that he's got brick hands and a problem. Okay, so I've made my rant. Now I want you to make your rant. Tell me if I'm wrong. Correct me in the comments. I get a little excited about this. I love my Chiefs. I love the drama of it. This is my soap opera. Like I said, I will give you the link to Cole's video so you can go watch that if you haven't seen it. Looking forward to your opinions. And until then, I will definitely catch you on the next video. I might try to squeeze in a pre-game video, all right, before the Raiders game. We'll see if I can get that done. And if not, I definitely will come back at you with a post-game video reacting, hopefully, to the win that we have on Christmas Day. That's all I got for now. This is Carlton Flowers with FSN, and I'm gone.